I remember somebody saying like they had a question. It was like, have you ever done anything crazy for a man? And I was like, they was like, what the craziest thing you ever did for a man? I'm like, I bought a man a car. And it was like, oh, you stupid, da, da, da. And I would buy my new man a car if I could get him a car. Like, why do you think that the man who fumbled me gets more of me than the man who actually holding it down? No, I'm gonna get greater for him. I'm gonna get better for him. Not only is he gonna get the version that all of these other ones got, he's gonna get a greater version, a smarter version. I'm getting better for him. I'm not withholding. Oh, I didn't like this. Was you everything you tried with that man? You need to be the man who lock it down. You need to be trying it 10 times more. You need to be giving him 10 times more. You need to be invested in him 10 times more. No, I don't believe in that. I'm never going to do this again. Well, then if you're never going to do it again, stay by yourself. Because don't make that new man who's really invested his time in to you suffer for the mistakes of the men in the past. That's out of line. If you need to go heal yourself. But when you go into a new relationship, you wipe all that clean slate. This is a whole brand new man who did not do anything to you, who have good intentions for you, and you give him everything and more than what you gave the last man.
So this woman may be with you today, and in 6 months be with somebody else, and you be with somebody else, and then you got to provide for them.
Or she may be with you today, and in a year, she's your fiance. The position, regardless, is temporary.
The position is temporary. Yeah. All right. So then it's like, all right, cool. Well, now we can go there. And again, so the other thing is this too, because some women will hear this and say things like, well, like that means I don't have to cook for him when he's not my boy, when he's just my boyfriend. And if you don't want to cook for him, you don't have to cook for him. If that's your prerogative. If that's your prerogative, you don't, right? But then you do have to see things that are pretty low-hanging fruit in the other person that give me indicators that, okay, cool, this person cares for me.
Yep.
All right. Now, I don't know what those things are where it's just like, yo, I have to see this person. These things are things that only wives do. I don't know what those things are.
Putting your career on the back burners to support a family.
That's something that a wife does.
That's something that a wife would do.
Only.
Only.
So it's fair to say this, okay? And that's a great example. It's fair to say this. Yo, if you're a woman and you're dating a guy and he's your boyfriend, never like abandon your career for him. No. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
So like,
I travel for work.
I would never tell a woman, hey yo, you should hey, I'm just your boyfriend. Hey, quit working because I'm gonna provide for you. I would never. That don't make sense. And you should never be stupid enough to listen to that.
Yeah. Perfect.
You should never be stupid enough to listen to never, right? Because the position is temporary. Mm-hmm. So then when now you become my fiance, now we can start talking about more permanent solutions. Mm-hmm. And even then it's just like, all right, engagement. We still figuring shit out. And then, okay, I'm your husband, you're my wife. So leading up to that point, let's start getting things in order of how we want to do marriage. But I think social media has conflated everything in just relationships, and everyone's supposed to do everything. And you got men listening to the blueprint that rappers have set for us.
Yep.
You know, and try to emulate those things and saying, yo, I'm gonna buy my girl a Birkin bag that I just met.
Yep.
Right. And obviously most women aren't expecting Birkin bags, but it's just like the idea of overspending to get accommodation from a woman that you're not even serious with.
Mm-hmm. Well, first I'll say he's wrong when he says, first of all, if any man want a woman to cook for him, and she said, well, I don't feel like cooking for him, that's probably a compatibility issue right there. That's a red flag, sort of like what me and Marcus was talking about on King Talk. If you have desires, if you have life is about relationships, is about outcomes. What outcomes do you want? What lifestyle do you want to live? And it's up to the two people to communicate the terms of it. Okay, do we have any shared values? Well, I value a woman who can cook for me. I value a man who can pay a bill here and there. Now, can you do that? No, I don't want to do that. Then why the fuck is you with her? You get what I'm saying? So it's a matter of filtering and moving on instead of saying, oh, she's just temporary. No, she ain't shit. She don't do what you wanted her to do. Some basic shit that a woman usually, well, I'm not going to even say that because I don't want them to call him misogynistic. Man, fuck that. But women usually cook, goddammit. You're supposed to learn a recipe or two from your mamas. Or your grandmama, whatever one. Yep. All I'm saying is if you have values that you look for in a woman, communicate those things to see if she encompass those values. And she should be communicating, we should be vice versa. So, and if that's not the case, then don't move forward in a relationship. No fucking, no sucking, no none of that. Because that's why the relationships are failing, because people get in these relationships and they try to change people. Like, okay, so when we put the ring on, I want you to be the person I want you to be. No, you weren't even the person I wanted to be when I first said hello. So goodbye. You get what I'm saying? And that's just how you got to play it these days. Fucking Sweetie laughing at me.
Yo, man, you say you weren't the person I wanted you to be when I said hello. So goodbye. That's a bar. I don't do him like that, JR.
Relationship status and progression is a form of vetting. It should be used as such. People make it to the next rank. It's like a job. You do the pre-hire, the initial hire, the orientation, then the review. You should look at the progression in the relationship the same way. The dating stage is getting to know the person, which is the pre-hire. If that person is compatible with you, which is why it's really important to show who you actually are. Because you might hire somebody for a job that they'll be great at, but you pretending that that's the qualifications for the job. You need to be, more forthright with who you are so you can find a person that matches up with that. The progression from there would be the actual relationship. Once that they've proven trustworthy, proven all those things to you that y'all compatible, you move forward from there. The trial portion of that relationship, you see how you would like things is very, 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 very important to make sure you lay out the framework for how you would like the relationship to move. If that's going well, then you can move to the fiance stage. The fiance stage is just perfection of the things in the previous stage. So once you get married, you already have a program, a framework for how you communicate, how you resolve conflict, how y'all handle finances. You discussed if kids is on the table or not, how many kids. All of these things are to that progression. Once you've settled all those things, then you move on to the marriage. You just complete the plan that you set in the fiance stage. It's really simple. The problem is people get their emotions attached and are afraid to break up.
I got a question for y'all. Do y'all think these solutions and specifically the problem that's being presented right now is only a problem for people who have been jaded?
What you mean by that, jaded?
Because
you mean finesse into the relationship?
I mean, call it what you want. Like, you know what I mean? They given they all in a specific relationship, or they did something in this relationship, and then now they go into they single, so they go into the date market and said, I'm not doing that shit no more. Because shit is way more, we're making this way more complicated than it has to be. Well, we're not making it more and more, but like this whole entire conversation is way more complicated than it has to be. You're supposed to be the person that you are in a relationship. However you are, that's how you present yourself. If you're a motherfucker that love to cook and do all of this, that's who you are. If you're a motherfucker that love to pay bills and take care of your woman, that's who you are. But the moment you start saying, the moment you transition over to I'm only doing this if, that's a problem that you have to work out. You're jaded from a previous situation. There's something that went wrong in your past that's causing you to say, I'm only going to do this if. Because the natural progression of these relationships, to Marcus's point, is you're supposed to progress from girlfriend and boyfriend to fiance and to husband and wife. But if you experience so many different breakups and things like that, that's how you wind up having this kind of conversation. Is that, well, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to be a husband before this, or are you supposed to be a wife before this?
Are you saying it's wrong? Are you saying it's wrong to have this kind of conversation?
No, I'm just saying, I'm pointing out the fact that it's a conversation unique to what is going on in the world. Because if we all did it the right way, this wouldn't even be a problem.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We're human, so we aren't doing it the right way. And the thing about it is that we made uninformed decisions. So the first time we was making these decisions, we wasn't all the way there, right? Because it's easy for somebody to tell you something, tell you that the fire is hot. It's another thing to touch the stove. So the point is that you're supposed to be reflecting on these things and getting better. And no, I don't think that a person's goodness is circumstantial. Like my goodness is not circumstantial. I am good, but your access to me is very circumstantial. And where I felt like, okay, this was the level and I let you in. Well, this is where I was blind at. I should have paid attention to this. I should have paid attention to this. I should have paid attention to that. I should have paid attention to that. And within my growth and allowing me to grow, I'm reflecting on where I made mistakes before. So it's not that I'm moving in my jadedness. It's that I'm being careful because, like I said, I don't want nobody fucking up my good shit. So at the end of the day, I know that I made an investment. So if you're an investor, your first investment, you put all your money into this, you put all your time into this, and it's like it blew up. No, the next time you're gonna be like, listen, I've been studying the stock market this time. I'm investing in the right thing this time. I'm gonna make sure that I win. So when you fail a test, you go back and you study and you make sure I'm gonna ace it this time. So yeah, you come back more careful because whatever didn't destroy you only made you stronger. So as we grow and we evolve, we get stronger and better at this, and we realize, you know what, that's a red flag, that's a deal breaker. I know this means that. And we just become more informed. So yeah, as we grow older, we be careful about it. And that's what it is. It's not from a jaded, it's just that we're making what we call like informed decisions, right? So like that's what it is. I don't think it's problematic. I think a lot of times love is not enough. A lot of times good is not enough. A lot of times you need to understand we need to be here. We need to be financially on the same level, spiritually on the same level, emotionally on the same level. We need to be compatible. All of these things that nobody was telling us about. Because when we first started falling in love, it was like, he make me laugh. She make me smile. We have good sex. And that's all that matter. And what did that get us?
Well, and that's the thing is, I don't totally disagree with you that you should have better decision making or discernment. I'm talking about saying what you're not going to do even after you made the decision. So you're like, oh, I'm going to be this person's girlfriend, but I'm not going to do XYZ for this person.
Yeah, that's
what I mean by coming from. Yeah, that's what I mean by coming from a problematic or jaded perspective. If you say I'm not going to choose that person to be my boyfriend because I learned from the past, that's different from, oh, I'm going to choose you, but I'm going to withhold what I would normally. Yeah,
that's what I think that's crazy, right? Because, like I said, no, I remember somebody saying like they had a question. It was like, have you ever done anything crazy for a man? And I was like, they was like, what the craziest thing you ever did for a man? I'm like, I bought a man a car. And it was like, oh, you stupid, da, da, da. And I would buy my new man a car if I could get him a car. Like, why do you think that the man who fumbled me gets more of me than the man who actually holding it down? No, I'm gonna get greater for him. I'm gonna get better for him. Not only is he gonna get the version that all of these other ones got, he's going to get a greater version, a smarter version. I'm getting better for him. I'm not withholding. Oh, I didn't like this. Was you everything you tried with that man? You need to be the man who lock it down. You need to be trying it 10 times more. You need to be giving him 10 times more. You need to be invested in him 10 times more. No, I don't believe in that. I'm never going to do this again. Well, then if you're never going to do it again, stay by yourself. Because don't make that new man who's really investing his time in to you suffer for the mistakes of the men in the past. That's out of line. If you need to go heal yourself. But when you go into a new relationship, you wipe all that clean slate. This is a whole brand new man who did not do anything to you, who have good intentions for you, and you give him everything and more than what you gave the last man. Because you better at picking, right? Which means he's a better man. So guess what? You couldn't even keep the man with the stuff, so you got to upgrade. You couldn't even keep a lesser man with the stuff you had. So you got to upgrade because now you picking better men. So I need to be a little bit extra sweeter. I need to cook a little extra more. I need to be a little neater, more organized, more smarter. I need more and more and more because now I'm greater men are coming. So a greater woman has to show up.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I think that most men would actually be good with that perspective. The weird thing about it is to me, the way they were portraying it is if you get to a certain level and you're unlocking achievements or perks, but it doesn't really work like that. It's not to say, okay, you get to this phrase. Like, people who you are going to get married to should be your friend. Like, they should trust you all the way, right? You should have that communication. If you have to guess as to who you're dealing with, you are absolutely with the wrong person. If you don't know what's on that person's mind based on their actions, what you can see, because, you know, women in particular have all types of discernment and the intuition, and they can be a detective if they think you're cheating. But when it comes to understanding what that man's wants and needs are, that discernment, that intuition, out the window, right? Or when it comes to how a man should treat you, sometimes you just don't have a clue. Just take that same energy that you would if you thought that man was out there running around and put it into investigating how this relationship is going. Like, you care about it. There's no way that I had to question, like, okay, am I going to get married? Once you meet that person, you both know what your intentions are. Nobody's really that good. It's just the fact that we ignore a lot of red flags or think that we're going to change a person. We just ignore things. He's like, damn, he really don't try to spend no time with me. I can't hear from him after 9 o'clock at night. These things are weird. He don't really want to do nothing for me. I got to ask him to do something for me every day. When a person wants to marry you, when a man really loves you, all is thinking about is you. He's putting you first. He wants to make sure you're in a good position. He's investing in you. He know you in school. He gonna help you buy them books. He gonna help hold you down. And men should understand that women are going to be extremely considerate, and they're going to be catering to you. They're going to be nurturing off rip. That's how women act who actually like you. And I think one of the bigger mistakes that we make is we try to make a person as attracted to us as we are to them, because you feel like it's a win by getting with them. But you can't do that, because that's the worst mistake you're going to make. Main thing that a man or a woman should be looking for is how that person treats them and how much and make sure that things are reciprocated, particularly feelings. That person has to feel that same way about you. They have to have that same love for you. They're supposed to admire you the same. If they don't, then you got to move on. Don't waste your time. Time is precious, right? And don't waste your body on them either, because that's precious. Give that to people who you know have your back. From the time when I was in the girlfriend boyfriend phase, I already knew that it was a marriage thing, and it wasn't about unlocking this. We both understood, like, this is the plan. We have like a 10-year plan of where we both want to be, and we're both going to work towards it. If you are concerned about a man and how he feels about you, see how much he talks about your future. See how much he is trying to invest in your future and checking on you to make sure your life is going to be set up 10 years down the line. That's an easy way to determine if a man wants you. And unless you violate him in an extreme way, he's not going to change that. Men who love you don't just stop loving you unless you do something terrible to them. Most humans don't really act like that. You'll be able to find out if somebody wants you or not. Just stop ignoring the signs.